It's Community Corner. We love this part of every Thursday when we have community people come in. We give them a spotlight and so they can tell us about the great work that they're doing, right?
Yes, sir.
And today's guest is Emily Stromquist. I hope I said that right. I think I did.
You did.
Okay.
You nailed it.
She's the executive director of Food for Hope. Now, the mission of Food for Hope is to empower and strengthen the future of our communities by providing nutritious food to children in need. Good morning, Emily. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It is an honor.
Oh, thank you for saying that. It's our honor to actually give you, again, a spotlight and a microphone to talk about what you do. I just gave them an overview what the mission is. Talk about Food for Hope and what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. So we are actually about to celebrate 10 years
Wow.
of, I know, so it's a it's actually a full circle moment because when we started the organization 10 years ago, we had the opportunity to do a short spot on the radio, and that is actually what generated our first ever public donation.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
So you guys didn't realize you're part of a bigger story. That's great. We work very closely with school districts to get food to children in need to make sure that they are being fed well, not only while they're at school, but on the weekends and in the evenings. We have in-school food banks where we partner with schools so that we can parents can shop with dignity and get the culturally sensitive, the health needs that their families might have, get that food for their families. And then we also have weekend food bags and snacks. So we just trying to come alongside kids who are the most vulnerable to their circumstances, and they have no control over that. So, but they deserve to have the food they need. So that's kind of what we do.
I love that. Okay, and I'm looking at some statistics here that was sent over from your website, actually. 1 in 6 children in Colorado are not receiving adequate nutrition at home. That's kind of hard to believe, that 1 in 6. Is it different from state to state, or is this like a mass problem here in our state of Colorado?
I think it is different state to state. I think where we rank pretty much in the top, I think around the middle of need in terms of the whole country. But, it also varies county to county. Right now we are located in Adams County, and the actual need is 1 in 5 there.
Wow.
And so we just, that's a lot of kids who are sitting in their classroom going, okay, I don't know where my next meal is coming from after I leave this building today. And we just don't want any kid to be in that situation if we can help it.
Yeah, that's so important because sometimes school is the only place kids get a solid, nutritious meal. And to have something that you can take home as a single parent who has definitely struggled, things like this helped us eat. So I can't tell you like how important this is. But can you talk a little bit about some of your programs? I see you have weekend food bags, school fuel, and in-school in-district food banks.
Yeah, so we started out with the food bags because it's just a simple way to help feed that gap. First of all, thank you for sharing that. I just want to say I really just appreciate your vulnerability there, but also knowing that there are just so many people experiencing that we don't know.
Yeah.
So weekend food bags is what we started with, and we just try to make sure that it has a well-rounded variety of food, and we give one to each kid in a family to help cover the weekend. Snacks started because we had counselors telling us that they had, and teachers saying they always have kids without snacks. And when it's snack time, that's really difficult. And teachers are spending their own money. They already don't make enough for how hard they work, right?
Yes.
And so we're trying to provide snacks to, so schools can be equipped to help in those situations. And then our in-school food bank started in 2019, but really took off after kids returned to school after the pandemic because the need just skyrocketed, and families who never needed food banks before needed them. And it's scary to go to a new place to navigate that. So if they can go to school or a district building where they already feel safe and comfortable and get that resource. So we now have 9, and we are probably opening 2 or 3 more in the next year, hopefully. And that model has really taken off because they can come in and shop. They can interact with volunteers who they see every week so they feel safe and they know them. And then they can also get food that is meaningful for their family.
And that part that you mentioned earlier about shopping with dignity, like I think
Yes.
that's so important and something that gets so overlooked because there's a lot of shame in having to be on food stamps or go to a food bank. Like there's a lot of shame in poverty. And I think dispelling that is so important and maybe a byproduct you might not even be aware of, but
You're
it's
right.
huge.
It's huge because we never want people to not pursue that resource that they need, especially for their children, because of those things. And we've unfortunately seen that. And so, how can we remove those barriers, right? By creating a friendly environment, by we try to take as much feedback as we can. Hey, what foods would you like to see? And what foods are your kids excited about eating? And taking that into account when we're stocking the shelves and doing all those pieces to just help it feel like more of a collective community thing and not so much a handout, you know?
I love that. Emily Stromquist is here, Executive Director for Food for Hope. Okay, there's another statistics here that I'm seeing here. Children who experience severe hunger are at increased risk for chronic health conditions, stressful life conditions, psychiatric distress, behavioral problems, and internalizing behavior. Some of the kids that you've seen, can you talk about that? And there's your staff there and how you guys navigate through all of these issues.
Yeah, we are so thankful to have the partnerships with social workers and their teams at the different school districts because they help us really be connected with the people that need it the most. But I will quickly share that one of the most impactful stories that I've heard as we've been doing this is there was a young boy at one of the schools before we were serving them, and he had a lot of behavioral issues, and they struggled with him all school year. And then at the end of the year, a church brought in some food. This was before we were serving them. And they said, hey, you can come get a box of food for your family. And when he went to pick up the box of food for his family, he was crying.
Oh, my
And he was
gosh.
saying, I'm just always so hungry.
Oh, God.
And it turns out he was just hungry. And so I think sometimes we don't know that those core base issues are there. And so if we can simply give them a good meal, then we can avoid some of those more difficult things, that are coming from that.
That's so heartbreaking.
It is.
I know.
Like when you think about it, and the parents in the room, and I'm not a parent, but talk about that. You're being able to provide for your kids is one of the most important things. And so working in this space, talk to me a little bit about that emotional connection to just making sure that kids are okay. He just wanted to eat,
Right. I mean, as a parent, I can't imagine what that might feel like, and I'm just so thankful to be able to at least provide a little hope. One of our volunteers said that. She said, when a parent leaves with food, we know that we took care of that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That one thing is a little bit lighter, and so that's kind of a perspective that we take too.
So how can people either access your services or volunteer if they want to help?
Yeah, so access of services would be through their school districts. We are in Adams County only right now, and so, but if your child goes to school there, please ask their school if they work with us, and we can get you connected. We are launching a growth initiative right now. We actually have a wait list for services. We just moved into our first building for first time, so our budget has increased a lot. So we really need the support of the community right now to make sure that we can get some of these schools off our wait list and help more families. So people can go to our website at foodforhope.net and check out our growth initiative page about what we're doing. We're trying to raise $2 million in 2 years. That makes me sweat a little, but
You can do it.
but I hope we can do it. And also volunteer opportunities are there too.
Awesome.
Love that. And do you have social media as well?
Yeah, we are on Instagram and Facebook at Food for Hope CO. You can also find us on LinkedIn if you're a professional type. And
This is an important mission. So if you have a question or if we need to text this to you, 303-893-3767. One more time, Emily, give them the website.
Food for Hope spelled out .net.
.net. This is so important. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and coming in and sharing what your work that you guys are doing. Keep doing it. And you always have a home here. We love having people here doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
That's Emily Stromquist. I said it right.
You did it.
Executive Director, Food for Hope Community Corner, Sugar Bear and Lamali, 104.7 The Draw.